Dan to Dan, Season 1, Episode 7, To a Kinder World. This one is going to have you in your feels, so get ready. Welcome back, Geek Variant. So we're talking about Dan to Dan, Season 1, Episode 7. As you can see, I'm out and about. I did not want to wait on this one because this one was a really good episode. I was very happy to kind of see how the emotion this one transpired. So without further ado, let's pretty much get into it. So Acrobatic Silky is still running wild and trying to get what's hers. Again, if you have not watched last episode, please watch it. She is focused on Ira and trying to figure out where her daughter is. I need her. She believes full well that this is her daughter and she needs to take her, get her back. In the process of this, Okaroon and Momo are, trying to run away. And through the process of them running away, they end up getting Acrobatic Silky to kind of get tangled up in everything that she was grabbing onto as they were running through like the warehouse, building area. So because of that, she got jacked up. She couldn't go nowhere, and she was just like, you know what? I'm still coming for what's mine. I want it, and she proceeded to tear out her hair, all that silky hair, all that stuff that she has been grabbing on everything. Like one of the main weapons that she has. Like she is that focused, where she is tearing out her own hair to get to Ira, to get to, you know, her baby, her daughter. Like that's how she feels. And in the process of that, um, everybody is trying to figure out what they can do to stop her. Now, Okaroon is like, "Hey, I'm in transform mode. We're about to scrap." Momo's like, "Yo, you got to fight her," and he's like, "I don't know how to fight. I don't know what you expect from me. I've never thrown a punch. I don't know how to throw a kick. Like when I got mad and doing what I did before, it simply came down to I was angry and I was just trying to figure it out. So I just started randomly biting and doing whatever, which is hilarious in itself because again, he's nerd kid has been bullied or keep it to himself. So of course he doesn't know how to fight. It's just nothing that came about naturally. So because he doesn't know how to fight, he's like, hey, just do something, throw something at him, and what he ends up doing is throwing one of the cleanest headbutts that he can muster. Using all his force. Again, he's got speed, so man, just headbutts the crap uh, out of her and sends her reeling. And in the process of that, if you saw last episode, again, everybody was swallowed up. So sitting there seeing Ira on the ground is like, okay, let's go get she's out. Let's go get the ball, the golden ball from her while we have the chance. So, you know, Turbo Granny, in cat form, goes over there and manages to retrieve the ball, but come to find out, yeah, Ira didn't make it. Ira is still out cold. And because Ira is still out cold, there's not much that can be done as far as saving her. So they're trying to figure that stuff out. Um, Red Dress, Acrobatic Silky is still aggravated with that and just doing whatever they're trying to do. But again, it's to no avail. So it's like, what are we going to get done? How are we going to take care of this girl and get her back to life? So Mo was like, okay, what I can do is I can massage her heart using my ghost hands, right? I can get in there and start trying to kind of bring her back. We'll have Okaroon give CPR, start breathing her, like whatever we can do to kind of get her going. And in the process of that, Turbo Grand was just like, yo, like, she's not gonna make it. Like, you can't do what you're trying to do. It's not going to work. If you're swallowed up by a yokai, by any type of entity, like, and you don't have anything to protect you, i.e., Momo's powers, Okaroon's powers, you're done for. Like, your life is forfeit more or less. So it's like, how are they going to handle this? And that's when the sacrifice that I did not expect to happen happens. All right, Acrobatic Silky ends up saying straight up, "You can take my aura to save her. No tricks, nothing crazy, nothing funny. That you can bash my head with this steel beam right here if necessary. I will break. and she broke her own jaw. So I can't eat anyone else. So that she needs to be saved. She desperately believes that that is her child, that she's willing to do anything and everything to save her, which was just like, okay, you finna turn on the emotions, full blast at this point. And they're like, all right, no tricks, we'll give it a shot. And so they end up trying to do everything. And that's when we get this whole traumatic backstory. And we find out exactly that Acrobatic Silky used to work. Apparently, she, owed some people some stuff, and they broke, they came to take her. Like, again, she spent time with her daughter, and she was doing all these fun things, and they were having just a great time. Like, her and her daughter had one of the greatest relationships you could see. Like, it just looks, so happy, so full of life, so full of joy. And these dudes broke into her house and proceeded to beat the crap out of her, looking for money, valuables, whatever stuff that they can get, because they're like, this, you owe us. You need to give us what we're owed. And because she had nothing to give, they end up snatching up her little girl and taking her little girl with them, like walking out. Like, they beat the crap out of her. Like, she was cut, broken, bleeding, and she's still scrambling to go after her child. And even, took everything out of her, so that, again, her child was taken away from her. She did not know how to handle it. Again, it's like that whole entire process, that grief, everything that she was going through was just massively weighing on her. And that's where that acrobatic Silky comes from. She's got the long hair, and she ends up going to the top of the roof and doing one final dance before kind of succumbing to her grief. And that was like such a powerful scene. Like, that whole, like, 2 minute montage of things that were going on was so powerful. Like, that was really good, really deep. Like, they did a great job with kind of showing us, what she was going through, and to have that understanding of why her character is doing what she's doing, why she's so, you know, she's so, like, driven to get Ira. And we find out that Ira, was with her father, and Ira had lost her mother, and she had always asked about her mother. Like, when's mom coming back? And dad was trying to explain as nice as he could, and it hurt. Like, you know, how do you talk to a kid about this kind of stuff? How do you tell them this stuff? Like, it's never easy. So she would go up to people who she think was her mother, and you know, hug them, or like, are you my mother, and stuff like that. And we kind of get that scene where things were acrobatic Silky and Ira as a young child, kind of having that moment, and acrobatic Silky gives up, her aura to fix Ira's aura. So she sacrifices herself, and as she's doing that and she's fading away, Ira, who comes back to life, goes up to acrobatic Silky and hugs her, and she's just like, and you hear the "Mommy, I love you." Don't know if it's from the daughter. Don't know if Ira actually said, like, you just hear it straight, "Mommy, I love you," and hugs her. And acrobatic Silky is able to take that one arm she's got left and kind of hug her back and kind of get some closure. And because she has no more unfinished business and she has no aura, she's, her essence essentially is going to go to the void, which I'm sure we'll get some explanation on that later. But it's just like, how do you handle that? So now Ira is there to, give her that moment that she's been wanting for, again, that hug. Sometimes that's all that's needed. And she was able to fade away. It was just like, dude, like, how, hey, freaking, it got me. And I think that this kind of sets up for Ira to have a connection to the crew now and be part of the crew, more or less. Um, it's possible she could be gone after this, but just from some of the stuff that I've seen, it looks like, it's something that she's still going to have to process and deal with. And Momo was very moved by everything. She stopped Okarum from getting ready to go fight because he thought, Acrobatic Silky was doing something weird. And because of that, excuse me, in the background, because she thought Acrobatic Silk was doing something weird, and Momo stopped and was like, "Yo, no, don't. Everything's good." And Momo saw everything. Like she saw the trauma. She saw, what Acrobatic Silky was going through. She kind of saw what Ira, had went through. So now she's kind of that link. She's that supportive thing that can kind of bridge the gap a little bit, maybe help explain what's going on. But it seems like Ira knew instinctively, is why she went and gave the hug. So I just thought it was a fantastic episode overall. Like, even though this show started off kind of wild, um, it's proven to have some really good moments between the characters. Like the dynamic between the characters is really nice. Again, it seems kind of natural for high schoolers kind of mess around with that. But again, having these strong moments like this to kind of pull it together and let there's some things at stake. There's some things that you can't necessarily account for or deal with. And I think it's fantastic. So I'm excited to see kind of where things go next episode. See how Ira is going to um, be in reaction to the crew. What's this experience going to have on Momo, and how she's already thinking like how's this going to affect her and how she goes forward. Um, are they going to find Okaru's other nut? At some point. It would be next episode is the further down the line. Didn't expect them to find this one so fast, but this brings kind of something together. And is Okaru going to start to learn how to fight now and do some training, maybe get some skills to be able to battle when it comes down to it? Because I feel like this is kind of like the preamble to the tougher enemies that are coming down the pipe. So he's got to be ready to scrap and be ready to go at some point in time. So I don't know. Let's wait and see. So that's all I got for this one. I appreciate you guys for joining me, even with these kind of crazy surroundings. But I wanted to get this episode done as soon as possible because I was not home yet, and see what you guys think, because I'm still reeling from this one. So with that, I'll catch you guys in the next one.